There are so many changes coming up in methodology of education, educational philosophy, educational psychology, and the methods have to be adopted depending on the new requirements in the society, new changes going on, technology in a very fast manner, specifically with the advent of AI and all other tools available to the young people. They are having control, absolute control over the information and knowledge. But whether that information leading to the knowledge process in a correct manner or not, it is the duty of the society and it is the duty of the elders to review and suggest the people, contemporary boys, contemporary people, contemporary educationalists, what they have learnt when they were young and what is the relevance which is available in our ancient method of teaching, ancient knowledge, ancient way of expression, ancient way of thinking about with a correct perspective of education for enlightenment. Education must enrich the character. To enrich the character and enlightening the individual, the educational psychology has to work. Keeping all these things, at times we think that ancient method of teaching one-to-one works. That was a time-tested method, which we know. We have read starting from Upanishadic method, then Guru Shishya Sampradaya. It may become a laughing stock in the minds of the new educational system and all those things. But the crux of it is that was to establish one-to-one bond, and there is a possibility to clear the doubts of the disciple. Let us see how far we can discuss about our ancient methodology. One day, a student came to the teacher and said in a rather accusative tone, "You have taught me a lot of theory, but nothing practical." Calmly, the teacher replied, "I taught you a lot of things. Your capacity and capability determine what is theoretical and what is practical. For the smart, all that is theoretical, it is also practical. For the not so smart, all that is practical is also theoretical." The answer given by this teacher is a wonderfully having so much of scope for discussion, which is relevant to the present educational system and the present generation to learn something about it. This is the burden of learning that was shifted from the teacher to the student. See, throwing everything, giving an exposure to everything without discussing the theoretical base, the root cause, the roots of the learning and what is to be done with your learning, what has to be built up in your mind, what has to be built. No doubt, we have to mold the systems according to the changing technology, changing movement towards very fast and rapid to the field of artificial intelligence. But still, there is a necessity to review our methodology for growing the children, for making the student to be happy with what concept he has learnt, what is the amount of theory that is practicable, and at times the theory is leading to metaphysical quest. You may be right in injecting this metaphysical quest into the young generation, but how far that mind can absorb and how far that mind can implement those things, that is the real problem which is faced by the present generation. This has to be addressed. I feel personally this can be addressed by adopting some of our ancient methodology, ancient system of saying, that Upanishadic method of education, that is, sit by me, sit nearer to me, learn, I am here to teach. I will tell you the sutra, I will tell you the model, you debate with me, clear off your doubts, come to an understanding. If the student gets a preliminary understanding at a later stage by brooding over it, that is where manana, after Shravana, manana, nididhyana. Shravana, the role of a guru, and teaching in the part of Shravana, what is his experience and what is the experience of that particular concept or sutra in the present world. Then the student at a later time, a later stage, he may concentrate on it, that is, what is it? Nididhyana. He may realize in a different way. His realization may be totally different with what we are thinking it's absolutely right, but he may arrive at a different conclusion, arrive at a different methodology, arrive at a new path. That creativity can be given only by implanting correct logical position, transplantation of the brain into a correct logical path. Then only that creativity will come. Otherwise, you will be in much confusion and ending with all saying that lot of as Shankara has correctly pointed out, that Shabdajalam Maharanyam Chitta Brahmana Karanam. There is no meaning in giving so much of sound and material into the brains of the students without any. That gives Chitta Brahmana Karanam, that becomes a source of confusion in the minds of the students. That's not the reality. This is where the role of the society and the role of intellectuals, role of eminent teachers, role of eminent psychologists, and role of the people who are good onlookers of the present society and what is going on, they can contribute. We often see education as one-way street. The teacher trains or the student learns. That is why that was once called training department is now called the learning department. In the former, the onus rested on the trainer. In the latter, the onus rested with the participant. With the trainer now called facilitator, but learning is more complex than that. It is a two-way street. It can never be a one-way street, because two-way has to participate. Only when there is a samvada, only when there is a debate, only when there is a great debate and great discussion between Guru Shishya, the trainer or a teacher, whosoever it may be, then only the real creativity will come out from it will blossom in the minds of the student community. We can equate knowledge with food. The teacher can serve any kind of good. The quality of the food may be good or bad depending on the teacher's ability. But what we eat depends on our taste. And what we finally imbibe depends on our digestive capacity. So what we learn is as much dependent on what the teacher serves and on ourselves. To improve quality, the presentations, people are often told the following keep one message. Use more messages, more images than words on slide. The practice of slides at times may be explanatory, but it is not creative in creating an impact on the minds of the student community to come out from the boundaries of simple mechanical hearing. This presentation does not guarantee communication. This advice ignores one important lever of communication, the mood of the recipient. The mood of the recipient is very important. Is he interested in hearing? Is he hostile? Is he distracted? Must efforts made to make him more attentive. It is that onus that speaker too has to hold on his shoulder. The Upanishadic method of teaching was one-to-one. One-to-one. Upanishad means come sit by me. Here the teacher and the student sat and talked about ideas. The teacher calibrated his choice of words depending on the intellectual and emotional level of the student. The students grew by learning what the teacher was trying to communicate. The teacher grew up improving his ability to transfer information and knowledge. In this method, both grew. See, learning is a continuous process, whether it is for the teacher or the student. Both of them can grow in this one-to-one method. That is our established ancient wisdom laid out Upanishadic method. More and more people join the conversation. The level of conversation aims to satisfy the lowest common denominator. This is what Satsanga. To remind you, a great shloka, Samsara Vishavruchasya Dvipalamrutopame Sadgranda Patanam Satsangacham. This Satsangacham, the discussion with people of eminence and knowledge and conversation with them, it will clear several of your doubts. This happens in one to many conversations as in public speaking and town hall meetings. We cannot downgrade them. They present complex ideas. One-to-one is definitely a greater method. We can only communicate simple ideas in the most pedestrian of ways of the basic understanding of all. That is why tales of knowledge transmission in ancient Indian stories always take the form of one to one and rarely one to many. So, this is where one has to concentrate as far as the Indian system of teaching and Indian methodology of learning and communication basically from a trainer or a teacher to the student. One of the reasons why gurus insist on diksha or initiation, they would select students carefully and nurture them carefully to ensure good transmission of their thoughts. For a guru is not a shepherd leading sheep. He is a human who is trying to enable another human discover his potential. This is the real role of guru. Allowing the student to understand his capacity and to discover his potential which is innate available in his brain. Likewise, a trainer or a facilitator is not one who transmits knowledge or skills into an empty vessel. It is someone who enables the participant to digest and implement and brood over on it. Must allow the people to think over on that. Organizations are investing more resources than ever before to achieve visibility in the inner working and health of their applications and all other things. But still, lacking in the methodology in transmitting the knowledge and making their brains, making the participants' brain to get stimulated to work out creatively on what the concept is narrated by a trainer or by a teacher. In recent years, the term observability has gained lot of attraction as a kind of catch-all for the plethora of insights that can be reaped from comprehensive collection and analysis of application and system data. The problem is that data is growing faster than all other things. Whether the data is applicable to the student, participant, whether it is giving him the rightful direction, rightful knowledge, that is where all these methodologies have to be get comprehended and see that right perspective, right methodology, right concept is entering into the right brain of a student, and is a methodology, the system implemented by the guru or a trainer or a teacher, whether it is stimulating energy into the thinking brain, whether these words are entering into the thinking process of the student or a participant, then only that will become resourceful and then only that will become fruitful. Hence, I feel sincerely this is the right time for several intellectuals working on education who are having a lot of experience in learning and development, whether it is in the organizations or universities or colleges, whatever it may be, learning and development, the process of learning and the impact of learning on the development of the participant or the student, that must be the focus which the modern society has to do a lot of work in this regard. Thank you very much.